Hello there, and welcome to Travel Marketeering Saturday Sessions session live with me, Joshua Harrell, Chief Revenue Officer over at Worldvia Travel Network. If you are joining me live, thank you, thank you. If you were joining on demand, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you are joining me live, please join in the fun and drop a little something something in the chat or the Q&A wherever you want to drop it. I love getting a chance to say hello to you. And if you are new here, we say TM when something is right on the money or it's something that's a neat little aha moment that we're going to use later. So if you see a bunch of TM, that stands for travel marketeering. So a good afternoon or good morning wherever you are, and a TM to you, right? So, if you want to know what travel marketeering is, I feel like my chair is in a weird spot. Okay, there we go. Feels a little bit better. If you want to know what travel marketeering is, it is all about selling your travel products and services through systems, marketing systems. And the reason why we're focused on that is because as a travel entrepreneur, whether you are an agency owner or you are an advisor working your book of business, you aren't doing marketing all the time. You have some selling to do, some booking to do, some customer service to do, some support to do, right? So, having a system that you can turn up the things that are working and turn down the things that aren't, and make adjustments, swap out some gears here, whatever is working, just whenever you can get to that, it just makes it a lot easier. And it ultimately gets to something when it's working, it's repeatable, it's transferable, it's scalable. That's really where the magic happens. And you get to go from where marketing is an art form, and sometimes you feel like the magic, sometimes you don't, to a system, and a system that you can trust, you can rely on, and can grow with you, right? So that's what we're all about. And we talk about various different topics. And if you are joining live, make this time your time. Now, try to stay on topic because, guys, if you don't know yet, I can meander. I am like your great grandpa sitting on the porch in I don't know, Applejack something, Georgia. I'm sure there's probably an Applejack, Georgia somewhere. I I'm that grandpa or great grandpa. I will just tell some stories. So you want to keep me on target, but use this time to ask specific questions about our topic and how that pertains to you, because I guarantee you, we've been doing this now for a while. I guarantee you somebody else joining us live or watching us on demand is going to benefit from that. So that is what I love about our community is the sharing, the vulnerability, the fun. It's really, really cool. And another way to be a part of the community is to join our private Facebook group. As long as you've come here or you watched one of these sessions, you're welcome to join our private Facebook group. If you want to find that, go to Facebook and search Travel Marketeers, not marketeering. That's the Facebook page. You want to go to the Facebook group and join the group. All right. Now, I want to pop over to the chat before we get into our topic today. Our topic today, it was labeled as your elevator pitch. And for many of you travel marketeers who have been joining me on Saturdays, we talk about it a lot. We talk about your pitch a lot. But today, I put a call out to our Facebook group to say, today, let's workshop your pitch. And I'm calling it a pitch because, yes, the whole elevator pitch idea is how do you describe what you do to someone who doesn't know you? In a short amount of time, the time it takes to get from one floor to the next floor. Like, hey, it's nice to meet you. What do you do for a living? Now, that would be a little presumptuous if I'm ready to talk about that when we get into an elevator, because most of us don't want to talk in an elevator. But I'm just saying, if I did want to tell you what I did, I can't go through this giant saga. I need to get to the point enough so that that person gets it and could tell it to somebody else. And this is key, because if you start getting too complex with it, they're not going to be able to remember it and they're not going to be able to tell somebody else. This is you mobilizing your community, your network, right? They have to be able to tell it. So these are we're going to talk about a little bit of we're going to talk about tips, tricks. We're also going to talk about some pitfalls, I think, and also just thinking about it as this networking thing tool that you use is wrong. And I'm going to tell you why, and we're going to go into it. But I just wanted to say, if you have been here before, this is a time to bring your pitch, what you've been using, and let's workshop it because everybody here has a story. It may not be the perfect pitch for them, and they might know that, or they might have an inkling that something is afoot, that something may have changed. And this group right here is going to help them along in their journey. We might not solve all the world's problems, but I guarantee you we'll have some TM moments. All right. So again, join us in the chat, say hello, and ask questions throughout because that's what we are here to do. I'm going to go over right now to the chat. Sorry. Let's see. We've got Melissa. Good morning from Minnesota. Camille, hello from Austin, Texas. Neaton from just hello everyone. I do have glasses on and the screen is maybe a foot away and I still did not read that. Melissa said, "Well, good late morning, everyone. Early afternoon." I'm glad you brought that up, Melissa, because I just want to acknowledge the fact that I love our Saturday sessions and I get up really early every day of the week to go to work. And I wanted to do these Saturday sessions, so I said, you know what? They're going to be early, but I want to do these on Saturdays. I will broadcast from my garage, and we're going to do this. And so we started 8:30 in the morning Eastern time, and I loved it. I loved it. Fantastic. Well, you know what? People wanted it to be later. So I hope more of you are able to join live now that it is at noon Eastern time. This is the first time we're doing it, but after such a great turnout, and I want to say thank you to everybody who came to the Travel Marketeer Camp a few weeks back. I had a fantastic time. I hope you did too. I heard some people had some aha moments. Rocky. Uh-huh. I'm really grateful that you guys turned out for that, and that is what pushed me over. So many of you emailed me, joshua@worldvia.com, saying, you know what, on the West Coast, it's too early. We need it later. I heard you. We did it, and really, it was because everybody turned out for camp. So thank you for that. So yes, good morning and or happy afternoon wherever you are, or good evening if you're watching us on demand. All right, Lori said, "Good morning, Joshua." Lori from Arizona. Lori, good to see you. Brittany, good morning from Jacksonville. Good to see you. Catherine, oh, it's so good to see you from Ohio. And we got our first TM of the day. Catherine, great to see you. Anne Marie, good morning from Erie, Pennsylvania. I want to know, are there any Erie places in Erie, Pennsylvania? I feel like that should be a thing. All right, Paul joining. Hi, Joshua from and a TM from Fort Worth. Good to see you, Paul. Debbie, good afternoon from Michigan. Oh, and it's good to see our Sissy. Good morning, and TM, good to see you, Sissy. Laura, good morning from New Braunfels, Texas. I tell you what, Texas is in the house. And those of you in Texas, I hope for sure we're going to see you at World 25 in Richardson, Texas, just outside of Dallas Fort Worth area. So I hope they get to see you in person. And I heard on Friday then I might be doing something special for the travel marketeers that come to World 25. I say that I heard because our Erica, our director of member development, who has joined us on several of these sessions, she said, you know what, you should really do something. And I took that to mean I am going to be doing something. So we'll see. Helen, sorry, Helen. Hello, everyone. Good to see you, Helen. Marcia, good morning from coastal California. So, Marcia, is this a good time for you? I hope so, because we wanted to make sure our West Coast peeps were getting in. Rashika, thank you for Saturday sessions just started. Well, Rashika, welcome and a TM to you. I hope that you find these sessions extremely powerful. And even if you step into one of the sessions and maybe we're going over something that maybe you're not, I don't want to say not ready for, but it's not on your radar at the moment, join because there are so many travel marketeers out there that are at different stages. And sometimes we're talking about something that is under a specific topic, uh-oh, it connects to something you are working on. So I hope you find this time really helpful and hope to see you come back much, much more. It depends on how good I do today, right? If you really feel the value in it today, that will make you come back, right? And good time for West Coast. Hello from Anne in Seattle. So good to see you, Anne. You know what I feel like? You know what? It was very East Coast centric before. Now Saturday sessions are are going I don't want to say global, nationwide. Jenny, good morning from Arkansas. Good to see you, Jenny. And Marcia said it is a perfect time. So thank you guys for weighing in and thank you guys for being here. I mean, that is what I mean, it really does come down to that. You chose to come here and you chose to spend a little time with me to work on your business, and I'm very, very grateful for that. Now, a little piece of housekeeping, and I always hate when people say that. Do you really think of housekeeping while you're in a webinar like this? Um, but anyway, I wanted to let you know that Zoom is fun, and we've all been in Zoom a lot. We are going to move the show. It's still going to be at noon on Saturdays, most Saturdays when I'm not traveling, most Saturdays at noon, but we are going to move it to our YouTube channel. So it's going to be a live show on YouTube. And you'll see, you can find us on YouTube. Just go YouTube, search World Via Travel Network, and you'll find it. And it will be an upcoming live show. And you can click the little bell to get a notification or a reminder to join us. But it's something that we can do, and it's something that will mean that you could actually not have to be on your device. You could sit in front of your smart TV, and I could be in your living room. Right now, I could be in your living room. So, not right now, but going forward, it's going to be on the YouTube channel. So, you don't have to register, you just have to show up. Okay, so that's a little side note. I'll remind you of that and we'll send you a message to make sure that you remember that. But you'll find me. I promise. You will. A TM to that. All right, so let's talk about the elevator pitch. Now, while I'm doing this, while I'm setting the stage, I want to give you guys time. If you can cut, if you've got your elevator pitch written down somewhere or on your computer somewhere, drop it into the chat. Or if you want to just type it up really quick while I'm talking about it, please do, because I want to be able to go through your actual pitches, the ones that you have in place or you've been working on. I want to talk about those because I'm going to give you an overview of this. I'm going to tell you how to use it, some not mistakes, but some some challenges I've seen. So we're going to talk about those things, and you might want to change it while we're in the moment. But there's no set way to create an elevator pitch. The only real rule is that it needs to get the point across. It needs to be something that somebody can not necessarily repeat verbatim, but can express the gist of it, right? And it needs to be something that can be told in a short period of time. You definitely don't want somebody to have to go through a story because not only does it take time, and you might not have that time, but the longer the story is, the more somebody can mix it up and it gets lost in translation. So, th those are the rules. Keep it short, make sure you land the point, and that someone can actually repeat the gist of what you're saying. Okay. So, I mean, there's loads of formulas out on the web, and different marketing gurus have different idea or different frameworks that you can use. So, I've given some of the people in our Facebook group, I've given, if you tuned in this morning, I gave you guys a framework. Now, I'm going to share that with everybody who's joining, or if joining either live or watching on demand. So I am going to share that, but I gave that to those guys who were tuned in, so they could maybe look at their elevator pitch and see, does it tick all the boxes that I've laid out in the framework? And even from there, we're going to whittle that down, okay? Because again, there's no set rule to these frameworks, but there is a recurring theme. It is to make sure that you are positioning your brand, your company, you as the guide to help the hero. Think of Joseph Campbell and the hero's journey. Your customer is the hero, and you, your company, your brand is the guide that helps them through to a better place. Okay. Now, if you don't know the hero's journey, Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, please Google it, search for it. It's a fantastic concept. It's been around for a very long time, and it is the cornerstone, the framework for most stories. The best example that when I first was learning about really telling these hero-centric brand stories. The example was Star Wars. And I love Star Wars. I'm sorry, it came out when I was young. It has been in my life always. I love all the intricacies of the story. But the example was in Star Wars, the hero is Luke Skywalker, and he's not loving life. He's not, I mean, he's just in it. He dreams of a better day, but he hasn't found himself. And then the villain steps in, and that's the Empire, the evil Empire, right? And then he meets some guides, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Yoda. And there's some things along the way, right? At the end of the story, he defeats the villains, and he's won. He's transformed through the story. Now, I really paraphrase that, okay? So if you are a Star Wars fan, then I didn't do that justice. But really, it's about, the story isn't Star Wars. The story is about Luke Skywalker and his transformation. And once you start to look at your customer as the hero, and you are just the guide, you're not the reason for everything, right? You're the reason there is a transformation for your customer. When you start to really absorb that, and that becomes a part of the way you speak and the way you position different things, different services that you offer, that once you start thinking of them as the hero and your brand as the guide, it does impact the way you tell your brand story. Okay. And I want to give you an example. It's not a really specific example, but depending on how long you've been in the workforce, uh, back in the day, you would you would join a company, and you would get a profile of the company. And it would say, in 1890, the company got started. So we've been doing it for 200 years. Whatever it was. Not 200 years, not 1890. I really messed that one up, didn't I? So we've been doing it for 100 years. So, and we've been doing it for 100 years with high standards and a lot of integrity and we're based in Baltimore, Maryland. I don't know. I'm absolutely messing that up. And if you've been in the workforce for a while, I hope that I'm sparking a memory of that company you worked for, even if it was only for a hot minute. Because I found it in multiple places. But the thing is when you start with, we've been around for 100 years, or 5 years, or 25 years, whatever it is, right? What does that mean? That sounds like you're boasting, like, hey, we held on until the scenery changes. We're still here, right? It doesn't impact the customer at all. Now, what the company was trying to do was say, we've been around for 100 years, so we know we are experts. That's what they were trying to say. And they led with that. If you go back to some of those bios, and maybe even some bios today, you'll see that like started in 1976, blah blah blah, the Gap, whatever. I'm sure they have changed their elevator pitch or their overall pitch over time, but I'm sure at some point it did say in the 70s, because I think they did get started in the 70s, or 1969. I think it was 1969. Anyway, uh, talking about that, that was very, very, very common. So now you're seeing those same companies that have been around for 100 years, 200 years, or 10 years, right? Changing it up a little bit. So they're saying, we help moms, da 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 da, so they can da 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 da. And we have the expertise since we've been doing it since 1969, whatever it is, right? So all of those different points in the story that at one point were these I don't want to say they were bragging, but they were bragging rights, right? We've been around for a long time. We've been in Baltimore, Maryland for a really long time. So they were these milestones that they were calling out and achievements. They were achievements, right? So those things have now been shifting and moving to, you know what, it doesn't really matter that, yes, that it's the expertise, but the person who they're trying to get to buy their product or their services, uh, they don't they need to know that they're working with an expert. That's very important for people, somebody with experience. But where they're even located today doesn't matter. And everybody's got so many different journeys to get to where they are today that maybe you did just start your business 3 months ago, but you've been doing something that led you to start this business for 20 years, 40 years, right? It could be anything, or it could be something that you've been passionate about for a long time, right? Those things all weave into the expert story. You just have to find the right way to work it in the story and make sure that at the end of the day, you're not bragging on you, you are highlighting that customer and the transformation that you help them achieve. Now, that may seem a little lofty when we're talking about selling travel, but I know for a fact you guys help very specific people accomplish or transform through travel. And I'm not just talking about the cultural experiences. I'm talking about maybe they wanted to go to Japan their entire life, but they were nervous about it. They'd never been to a foreign country where they didn't speak, where English wasn't the native language, right? So there's some of those things. And the culture was different, right? As much as I could read a book, it made me feel nervous to spend so much money to go to some place that I wanted to go, and I might actually mess it up and have a terrible time, right? These are things that they're real for people. So that transformation that you create for that person who wants to go to Japan, that is miraculous. That is the same thing as Obi-Wan Kenobi helping Luke Skywalker defeat the Empire. So what you do is a very big deal. But I will tell you, I have heard so many pitches that I'm like, whoa, 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 you are circling that airport and not landing. What is going on? How do I tell that you're different from this person right behind you or right beside you, right? there there is an element to every story, from the way you structure the story to who is delivering the story, which, as if you've joined me anytime in the past, I always say what is unique about your business is you, because there's only one you in the galaxy. So always look to infuse yourself, your style, into your stories, whether you're telling your overall brand pitch or you're talking about a particular itinerary you've put together. You are the magic that makes your brand happen. So never lose sight of that and don't ever water it down. Now, you're never going to be everything to everybody, and that is okay, because the people who should get it are the ones that will get it, as long as you stay true to yourself. Okay? So, that's my spiel on pitches. And like I said, the reason why I say pitch instead of elevator pitch is because you're pitching things all the time. You're floating ideas, whether you're talking to your Aunt Sally and talking about what you're working on, or you're talking to a future client, right? You're pitching all the time. It isn't just in that ASTA chapter meeting where you're meeting new advisors, or maybe a chamber business, new possible joint venture partners. Um, you're not just using it in those situations. So it is your pitch. It's how you want to show up in the world, and how you verbally deliver this. And then through other marketing and branding, you're gonna bring the story to life. But right now, we're talking about the pitch, and it's what you say about your business. And I'm really excited. I'm seeing in the chat that we've got some stories, to some pitches to talk about. So I am going to come to that. But I want to give everybody who wasn't in the Facebook group, where I gave a formula to creating your pitch. I want to share that with everybody, and I'm just going to pop you into my Notion. Let me see here. Do I have it? I hope that's big enough for you guys to see. Can I get a thumbs up or something if we're able to see that? I know I get criticized for not making it big enough. Okay, so whoever that was, oh yeah, they're coming through. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, I'm always trying to mix it up here. Like, how can I do it a little bit different than everybody else? And guys, I hate PowerPoint, so you're always going to see that being a challenge for me. All right, so let's talk about your pitch. Now, I just wanted to give you some sections to kind of work on, to frame up what you want to talk about. And the point of this is not, again, not to give you a set, you have to do it this way, but it's to make you think. Make you think. You might have a nice tight pitch, but you are missing a component that you actually know is there. Um, it's there, it's present. You just didn't figure out that it could fit into your pitch. So let's talk about it. So let's give some context to your pitch. Again, these don't have to be a part of every story, but see if it works in your situation. So let's give some context. Present the inspiration and the your origin story behind your brand. Now, this does not mean, oh, here's a great example. Here's a great example I'm going to give you. I hope it's a great example. You'll have to tell me. Uh, so many of you might be starting or had started your business in the basement, right? It's just you and a computer and a big dream. Okay. Now, most entrepreneur stories, they begin there. Okay. And it's a beautiful thing. As a serial entrepreneur, it is a beautiful thing. Even when I talk about some of the ruined experiences I had starting businesses, I should say, those moments of creativity and the passion, that those early days, oh, those are special, very endearing. Now, That's a part of your story, and maybe you've reached a level of success. Maybe you now have some associate agents that work with you, or you're just really in demand, and the local paper writes talks about you or interviews you. I mean, people you've reached a level of success, right? Now, your origin story starting in that basement, I would say 99% of the time doesn't matter to your potential clients. I think I can speak pretty universally about that because your audience does not care that you started in a basement. That has nothing to do, I mean, it is kind of selfish, but it's okay. It has nothing to do with what they're trying to get from you. Okay. Now, when is that story important? That story is important when you are talking to fellow entrepreneurs. Maybe you have been asked to give a talk on how to get started or how to lead your team, anything like that. Your audience shifted. Those are not people that you are selling to. You're not selling your services to them. You are trying to connect with them. And that story to somebody who's maybe in school for business or marketing, or as an entrepreneur like you, that story is important. So I'm not saying that that story didn't exist, make it go away, but that isn't a part of your pitch when you are trying to sell your products. Okay. I hope that makes sense, but think about it when you have probably maybe even been at one of those ASTA chapter events and you're talking to another advisor and they say, I focus on river cruises, mainly Europe. I've been doing it for a while. I got started in my basement, da 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 da. That totally makes sense. You're like, I did too. I got started in a closet because that's where I got started. That's the connection there, but you're not buying their product from them. So different, right? Okay, so let's go context. Present the inspiration and the origin story behind your brand. Now that could be that you are somebody who has traveled with their family and you know the complexities of traveling with your family, especially when you're traveling abroad, right? So that can be part of it, right? And maybe your family has now grown up and it's not it's not how you travel today, but you were really good at it. You know, you go girl. You had it going on there. So you give some context. The characters of your story showcase the key people, the founders, the team members, and of course your customers. Okay. Remember, you're telling all of this to the heroes in your story, your customers. So there might be key people in this story that you need to include. So please do. But never forget, it's not about the founder or the team members. It's about your customer. And then the conflict. Address the specific problem your brand solves or challenges it overcomes. Now, a lot of you could say the challenge that I help you overcome is traveling, just in general, right? I help you get from point A to point B, and I sell travel. That is not the magic that you need it to be, okay? Because yes, technically that is the transaction that's happening. But where's where's the transformation? Where's the pain point for your target customer that is the reason why they're reaching out to you and the reason why you are going to the thing that you're so expert at transforming. So transforming them, transforming the problem, the pain point, so they can be on the other side, and it is a happy day on that other side. Okay. So think about the conflict. Now, again, I'm talking in story cues, right? So this is all about telling a story. You're telling a story, and it needs to be a compelling story. All right, and then the conclusion, share your brand's journey, achievements, and vision for the future. Now, that sounds like the antithesis of a short and brief elevator pitch, right? I know it does, but I want you to think about it because there might be some parts to your journey that help convey the story. or just signal quickly and gets people up to speed. The same thing with achievements. You could win the best travel advisor in Fort Worth, Texas. Okay, or best travel agency in Fort Worth, Texas. Now, what does that mean that you are not good for the person in Minnesota, right? Because it's not in Fort Worth. No, it just says that people like you and they liked you enough to give you this acknowledgement. That probably means that that's an experience signal, right? So think about, does that fit into your story, or does that get into the bragging part? It's all in how you position things, right? So then I gave you, oops, I'm gonna not try to go too fast there. Then I gave you a framework. Okay, so see, if you have not written your elevator pitch, let's see if you can follow along here and maybe fill in the blanks. And if you do, while we're here, drop it in the chat because we are going to go over there and do that. So when your hero, okay, so you got to define that person, kind of focusing in on your target customer, right? Your customer avatar. So when your hero needs or wants, and then what is it they want? Okay. Uh, our brand helps, leads, supports, guides them by, and then how do you create that positive change? So they want something. How do you get them there? To avoid, and there's the cost of inaction. So if you don't do the thing, what might happen? Right? What is the cost of you not working with me or working with my brand? What is the cost? And when you're filling this out, go big. Like don't think about being brief in this moment. Get it all out of you. Let it flow. You're telling a story here. You can add a little drama if you want to. We can always scale it back later, but don't edit the words. Let it flow. Let it flow. So to avoid cost of inaction, we and identify how we overcome the external villain. Okay. So that external villain, go back to Luke Skywalker. What was his external villain? The Empire. Okay. So what is the external villain in your hero's journey that is there, they're aware of? And then then identify how we overcome the internal villain. So, what do we do to help our hero win? Okay. And that empowers you, the customer, to, and then you come up with another way to wrap up what they desired, what their wants were. Okay. So, yes, this is a big story. Are you going to tell this story the way it's outlined when you're in the elevator? No, you're not. Okay, I get that. If you did, I think I'd be like, what is going on? Is this an episode of Star Wars, or is this a travel agency owner, right? But look at the structure and look at what it's doing, that hero's journey thing, right? Saying, hero, I'm going to transform them. There's some evil forces, but I'm going to teach them a few things, or I'm going to do stuff here. And then on the other side, they're going to defeat the villain, and they're going to be the radiant hero that they want to be. Okay. So I'm going to leave this up for just a moment because I want to be here with you and go through some of these different pitches that you guys have dropped in. Okay. And guys, if you have any questions about the creating your pitch, drop them in the chat or the Q&A. I want to talk about this in depth because I will tell you, so many times I meet advisors of our network or advisors of just independent advisors anywhere, And I'm listening. I asked him, so what do you do? What do you do? Oh, I'm in leisure travel, right? I'm like, yeah, but what do you do? Like, what is your thing? What is your space in the world? And some of them are so compelling. I'm like, yes, I totally get it. I'm now going to introduce you to so and so because da 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 da, because I get it, right? And then there's others that I'm like, well, that's not really that interesting. And it doesn't really tell me what what you do specifically. It sounds like you sell travel, but it doesn't tell me what you sell and who you work with. And that's really important to be able to convey. And oftentimes it's a case of that advisor, that agency owner getting too in their head and not wanting to be grandiose, right? Like I don't want to put on airs. I just sell travel. Well, that is something. I don't know if that's going to help you reach the level of success that you're wanting to reach because it's not specific enough. It's not memorable. So we're gonna go through some. I see I see them coming through. So we're gonna go through some. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Um, and let's see. There I am. Hi, how are you? TM everybody. I hope that was worthy of a TM. All right, that does sound like I'm begging for some praise here. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can pop this in. I just realized this. If I pop this on the screen, because some of these are large, it might not be visible. So I can't make an adjustment while we're live, but I will definitely read it to you. Okay, so this one is coming from, oops, Melissa. So I'm going to drop this down. Yeah, you definitely can't read it. Don't tell me about it. I know you can't read it. Okay, it's a lot. My little screen thing doesn't allow for it. But I'm going to read it to you. Okay, this is from Melissa. She said, "This is mine, but I'm thinking of dropping the modern Mary Poppins part. Too much pressure to be that amazing." Okay. Hi, I'm Melissa Peterson, the modern Mary Poppins of travel planning, and I'm here to travel like you dream it. I specialize in transforming the stress of travel planning into magical, unforgettable experiences, whether you're chasing adventure, including indulging in luxury, or exploring your passions through literary. They're very good. I can read very well through literary tourism or uh, set jetting. I craft ultra personalized itineraries that bring your dreams to life. From walking in the footsteps of your favorite authors to visiting iconic film locations, because even the uh, most whimsical adventures start with meticulous planning, and that's where I work my magic. Okay, Melissa, you gave me a fantastic bio or about me page. So I'm gonna give that to you. I struggled reading through it because it was a lot of words, and sometimes I struggle with that. So don't let my awkward reading of it discourage you. Okay. You did give me a whole story, and I liked how magical it was. And you know what? If we need to set goals for ourselves. And I know you felt that Mary Poppins, the modern Mary Poppins part. So I don't want you to let go of it. Okay. Now, I will tell you, and this is my opinion, guys. I will always give you my honest opinion based on what I know right now. Okay. And if you ask me in a year, I've now grown, I've now evolved. I might have some different opinions. So you could always come back and ask me. But when I'm reading this, Melissa, I'm reading it like it came from your website story, okay? And I acknowledge it. That seems like where that's come from. Um, you need to turn this into the language that you would use if you were talking to somebody. I'm going to go to the brevity part between first floor and third floor, right? How can you get this all out? You might want to ask them what they do too. So you need to leave a little space. You don't want to take up the entire time. But how could you trim this down? What are the key components of this? Okay, so first, I'm going to dig into The let's see, hold on. I'm here to help you. So if I'm here to help you, who is the you that we're helping here? Now, in your about page on your website, you is fine. I mean, you could expand upon that, but I'm not worried about that. But if you and I were in an elevator and you were telling me this story, I don't know that you would say, I'm the modern Mary Poppins of travel. I don't know that you would. You might, but I don't know that you would because that is uh not necessarily setting you up for like it has to be this amazing. You've got to be as good as Mary Poppins or better. It doesn't really set it up that way. It just seems weird to for you to say, well, I'm Melissa Peterson, but I'm also the modern Mary Poppins of travel planning. I don't know if that's going to roll off your tongue in every situation. Now, if you're being interviewed by Drew Barrymore, I would hope for sure you would say it. Okay, so again, no rules here, but I want to make sure that when if you are asked what is your pitch, you can you can nail it and just it flows off your tongue. And this is what I love to do with when I'm working on an elevator pitch is I write it down, I pin it on the fridge. You guys have probably heard me say that many times with a lot of things. I pin it on the fridge so I can just let it percolate for a little bit. But then with a pitch, I say it in the shower. I'm like, oh, I'm the Mary Poppins of the modern Mary Poppins of travel. I don't know. I don't know. And I help you. Who do I help? Because I need the person I'm speaking to because I might not know what their situation is. I need them to maybe they are my customer, or maybe they could be my customer, or maybe they know who my customer is. But if I don't tell them who my customer is, I'm missing out. So who are the yous that you help? And if you, Melissa, if you want to jot that down and put it in the chat so I can continue the role here, I'd appreciate it. But who is it that you help? And it doesn't have to, we're not getting down to demographics. I mean, this could be, I saw Laura was in the chat. Laura Legg, she knows exactly, and I talk about her a lot because she came on Travel Marketeering and we went through it. But she knows that her customers are busy executive moms. So if she was in this scenario, it would say, I help moms who are very busy executives, right? I know exactly who your customer is because you said that. Now, could I work with dads? I could definitely work with dads who are executives. I could. But in telling my story, I'm setting up my future and I'm wanting to make sure that people could easily connect me either to themselves or to people that they know that could be my customers. So I want to be as specific as I can be, but still be a part of a general conversation, right? Like I'm not going to get into, oh, busy moms who are Gen Xers who earn 200,000 a year. We're not going there. That's not what this exercise is. Keep it light, keep it conversational, keep it fun, keep it memorable. Okay. Now I'm going to scroll down to see what Melissa said. So Melissa said, so far I've been helping people do FIT travel through Portugal. I'm new and I want to expand places and types. Okay, so Melissa, you're making me beg for it. Uh, you've been helping people. Can you identify a common thread in those people? And it's okay if you're just getting started. Who do you want to serve? And I'm not going to put you on the spot any more than I have, but I'm just saying we gotta figure out who that customer is. What are they like? Because I don't necessarily know if one of my friends, if my friend Barbara is your potential client, right? So help me figure out if Barbara is, or is it Joni over here? Could they be your potential client? Or is it Jack? Is Jack your potential client? And I'm not talking about genders here, but I'm just saying, out of my friend group, how do I connect them to you? Okay. So if we can find that, if we can define that, that would be really helpful to work into the story here. Um, I love, I love transforming the stress of planning into magical, unforgettable experiences. I do love that, but I want to give you something to think about here. Does everyone know that it's stressful to book travel? Because judging by the way they use online travel agencies or OTAs, I don't think they are thinking, I don't think the majority of people know that it is stressful or it is stressful to do it right. So how can you illustrate that without listing all the negative stuff that could go wrong or you know what I mean? Like don't plant a seed that doesn't need to grow there, right? But how can you demonstrate stress without saying stress? Okay. Um, and I love whether you're chasing adventure, indulging in luxury, I love that you are getting all of that out, and that does help the listener understand that you do a wide variety of travel. Now, is that memorable? Maybe what you need to do is give some specific examples, because the specific examples will land in people's heads. Like indulging in luxury could be, I do things like booking couples on yachts in the south of France, right? Now, that says luxury without saying luxury, right? And in terms of memorability, well, I bet you when that person turns away from you in a cocktail party and moves down the way, and someone's like, "Who's that?" Oh, she's Melissa, and she books trips. She books yachts in the south of France for clients. Hello, that is memorable. So think about how you can take some very general cues and turn them into really memorable moments in the story. And all in all, I think I said this to you before. I think you're telling a very colorful story. So do not let my critique squash that. Keep going with it, but take some of this feedback that I'm giving you and figure out how you can enhance, you can grow what you're doing. And ultimately, all of this is not just for the exercise to do it, right? At the end of it is, are you winning? Are you finding the clients that you want to serve? And are you selling the product, the travel that you want to sell? If it doesn't matter how many times we reconfigure things and go through different exercises, if what you're doing is not working, we do need to continue to tweak it. If it is working, then don't mess with it. Don't just keep on pulling on threads because maybe there's something wrong with it. No, move on because there's plenty of other stuff to do in the travel marketeering world. So don't get hung up on it. But really good job. Again, I love the story. If I found that story on your website, I'd be super, super thrilled. That to me is a compelling story, and don't lose the modern Mary Poppins. Don't don't lose that, but find where it fits and where it doesn't. Right when I said that, it made me think of something. So if we wanted to keep the modern day Mary Poppins in there, maybe I don't lead with it. Maybe you tell all who you serve, what you enable them to experience, right? That's the transformation, right? And then at the end, you punctuate it with, so basically, I'm the modern day Mary Poppins of travel planning, right? Wouldn't that be funny? That would be memorable. And it wouldn't make me think, because if you say it at the beginning, I'm thinking, oh, well, she doesn't look like Mary Poppins. Like I get a little judgy, don't I? Right? But at the end, when you tell me about the yachts that you book, again, I'm just making this up, then I'm like, you are Mary Poppins. Do you know what I mean? So different ways to work on it. All right, we're gonna move on to let's see here. Let's see. So Anne, I this is in quotes here. Um, and I might be missing something, but I'm thinking you're saying I love selling travel packages to older adults. So that to me is your that's what you're on the that's at your core, that's what you want to do. So how can you turn that into more of a compelling story? Now, what Anne has done here is she's made her pitch more a description of her passion. So if someone said, "So, Anne, what do you do?" And she said, "I love selling travel packages to older adults." It's a little too brief, right? But I didn't actually feel like it was her job. I felt like it was her passion. So, Anne, I need you to stretch that out a little bit, okay? So these older adults, what do they do? What might be a common thread for them, right? What could be something that they're very into that is right for you? It basically gives the older adults vibe without just spelling out older adults, okay? Right now, I'm running dry on how to come up with that. Uh, yeah, it's not wanting to come. Sometimes my brain fires and sometimes it doesn't. Uh, I don't know. Let that one percolate for a minute. It might come a little bit later. But I will say travel packages, you got to lose that. You got to, what types of travel packages, right? Are these tours through Europe? Is this all inclusives? Do you do any cruises in there? Are you an island person, world explorer person? Add some more color to that, just so again it's memorable. But I've actually, just because of the way you wrote it, didn't, I've never thought about saying, let me just talk about it like it's my hobby, right? I love selling magical family vacations to Disney, and I like doing them with a little extra flair than most people could even dream of. And that's really where that's my unique ability is finding moments of flair in simple family vacations. That was not great. I will admit that. But you see where I'm going here is I'm talking about just my passion, and I'm telling you I do Disney, and I'm telling you I do it with a little extra magic, which if I'm going to Disney, I probably want as much magic as I can get. I feel like that's what I'm signing up for, right? So, anyway, work on that, and I need to see you make it memorable and tell me the things that you're trying to tell me without telling me it in such a black and white way. Yeah? All right, so Catherine, let's look at yours. And thank you guys for participating in this. All right, so Catherine said, I specialize in crafting unforgettable journeys tailored to your unique style. I handle every detail from luxury accommodations to exclusive experiences. I turn your travel dreams into reality. Catherine, I think I have heard this one before from you, and I do love it. I think it's great. What I'd love to see here is you're definitely talking directly to your hero. Okay, so I do love that. But if I am talking to somebody who might not be my hero, right? How could you signal your ideal client in this pitch to where I know if I know somebody who should work with you or somebody I should introduce you to? So how do we how do we work that into this? And then how can you have some hooks in there around these unforgettable journeys? What type of journeys are they? Um, Are the are let's maybe work in some destinations, because think about it, when you're having a conversation with somebody now in the travel space, right? We're just talking to each other. We shorthand it all the time, right? Yeah, I do FITs. Nobody knows what an FIT is unless you're in the industry, right? So and that's okay. Please shorthand it when we're having an industry conversation. But when you're talking to your clients, you got to spell it out a little bit. So right now, Catherine, it's everything to everybody, but you do those luxury accommodations. So you've worked that in there, and you do those exclusive experiences. So you've worked that in there. Paint me a picture with, even if it isn't something you've sold, what would you like to sell? And how could the story of that product type, and those types of experiences, how could that say this story without being so vague here? Because again, it's going to be more memorable. So I like your story. Don't get me wrong. I like the story, but give me something. Give me a destination, the Ritz. Give me something that may even inspire me to think about a trip. And it might not be that exact thing. It doesn't have to be that exact thing, but give me some examples that help illustrate what you're doing, and make that a part of your pitch, but have it flow just like this. So what I'm saying is keep the structure of this, just work in some more specifics because you want to add a little more color and a little more depth. Okay, so work on that. Let me know. Um, so Marcia said, with a love for travel, I founded True North Journeys to assist singles and working professionals experience the joy, connection, and relaxation of travel. Okay, I I'm there with you. Thank you, Marcia. You went right in there, right? Now, I will tell you, if we're talking about a pitch, you're probably not going to say, with a love for travel, I founded True North Journeys. You're probably going to say, well, I started my company, True, I started my company, True North Journeys, because I love working with singles and working professionals and helping them experience the joy, connection, and relaxation of travel. You're going to make it more conversational and less formal. So I kind of go back to what I was saying earlier. Great for your About Me page, but if you're saying it, it needs to feel more conversational. So that's the only change that I would do there. Now, I could tell where we were going in the next part, so I want to get to this. So you say, having sailed on over a dozen cruises and traveling to the islands of Hawaii, I bring firsthand knowledge and expertise to crafting unforgettable vacation experiences. Find yourself through travel with True North Journeys. You're probably not going to say that last sentence when you're talking to somebody in the elevator or at a networking event. Okay, so I think that's more of your marketing webpage copy or social media copy, right? And that's okay. It's good. It's good. I love this sentence here. Having sailed on over a dozen cruises, memorable. She's been on over a dozen cruises. I'm going to remember that when I introduce Marcia to Simon. I'm going to say, "Hey, Simon, Marcia's been on over a dozen cruises." And Simon's like, "I've never been on a cruise, but I've wanted to go on a cruise, but I'm just so busy. I'm trying to live my single life as a working professional." So, fantastic, memorable item there. Traveling to the islands of Hawaii, there you go. You've given me just a couple of little nuggets that are great ways for me to introduce you to somebody else. You know what? She loves traveling to Hawaii, and this is what she does for her clients. Boom, boom, boom. That's what I'm going to say because I'm not going to say the whole pitch. I won't do that. You know I'm not going to do that. But over a dozen cruises, Hawaii, bam, got it. That is a great example of adding some color to your pitch. So I love it. I love it. I love it. Just say it. If it can flow in conversation, you're in the right place. If you start stumbling over it, Or it seems like it's not conversational. It doesn't elicit a response from the person you're talking to. Then that's when you just refine it. You just tweak it a little bit. Marcia, you're on track there. Way to go. All right, Anne Marie. Let's see. So let's do this, Anne Marie. So hi, I'm Joshua. It's nice meeting you in this elevator. So what do you do, Anne Marie? I transform your travel dreams into reality with personalized, unforgettable experiences. Whether it's a beach escape, a mountain adventure, or cultural journey, we tailor each trip to your passions. Enjoy seamless, enriching journeys with our expert team. Live your travel dreams today. Okay, so a lot of you guys are using your marketing copy, your marketing story, in dropping this in, and that is a-okay. But just know that I can clock that this is not what you're saying in that pitch, again in that conversation. So, love what you wrote, and know that I know that it's coming from your marketing copy. So in my little role play that I did there, and this is where I wish that this was video to video so we could do these together because every time I do that in person, people are like, "Oh, yeah, that didn't flow. Let me change it this way," right? Because when you're face to face with somebody, your instincts to have a great conversation take over and you get there. So I felt like, in my little role play, I transform your travel dreams into reality with personalized, unforgettable experiences. Oh, say more, Anne Marie. You've got me hooked. Now, I don't know that I'm gonna pass that information on, but you've given me something. I'm curious. So whether it's a beach escape, I know she does sun vacations, right? Or a mountain adventure. Oh, we're traveling across the United States or abroad, right? Or a cultural journey. Here is where I'm going to stop you because, and I know many people who specialize in culture-based travel, and I cannot stand when you are on a cruise and you go to a port where there's no like you don't get any kind of taste for the flavor of the culture of that island. And believe me, I know the history of everything and I know how that goes. But I feel like you go to destinations, you not only do you want to see sights, but you want to understand the people and what's unique about this place. I love that. Now, I don't know that the person you're speaking to understands what a cultural journey is. So, with all three of these, beach escape, mountain, cultural, find some examples that help spell that out so I can connect to it. What does a mountain adventure mean? I live in Georgia. I live in Atlanta, not very far from the North Georgia mountains, right? When I think mountain adventure, I'm thinking zip lining and what's the thing you do? The kayaking, right? That's probably not what you do. You probably take people to beautiful mountain resorts. I don't know this about you, Anne Marie. I'm just saying, give me some examples of what you do. Just again, so I've got that little seed planted. And then when I introduce you to my friend Simon, I have something interesting that can spark some conversation, right? So work on that, and you're not far off the mark, okay? And figure out how you can weave the culture aspect of what you do into the story. If I were doing it, and I'm talking about me personally, not me just stepping into Anne Marie's shoes. I need to talk about going to one of the islands and in the Caribbean and having a very basic Caribbean experience. It was a very basic Caribbean experience until I got to do a dance with a local who did it with fire. He danced with fire and I committed. If I tried to match his moves, right? And everybody around was paying attention. I was matching, and they were laughing at me for sure, right? And he's doing the stuff with the fire, And then he's motioning his way over, and he's sticking that fire in my face, and I'm like, if he's doing that, then that means that I probably could put that in my mouth because he wouldn't try to catch me on fire. So if it happens, I'm committing, right? So I did. Fortunately, he didn't put that in my mouth at all. But it was a moment of being with the people from that island and just having a great time. Now, is that this is not the segment that you put into your story here, but that's I would figure out a way to say maybe wherever I put you in the world or wherever you go with me in the world, we're going to find these moments like dancing with locals and potentially swallowing fire. Okay, there's a little mysterious, inspiring experience that might might make somebody's ears perk up. Like maybe they were half listening to me. They're like, "Oh, cultural travel, whatever." And then all of a sudden I say that, and now they're introducing me to everybody as the fire-breathing dragon of travel. That was a little bit dramatic. I do have a flair for it. So anyway, just figure out ways that you can say travel culture without saying it. All right, so Laura, all right, so she's giving me her whole pitch. And again, guys, I know you can't see it, so I'm gonna read it, or you can read it in the chat. But oops, man, tell you what, my windows are acting crazy today. All right, so Laura said, my usual pitch is shorter, but I changed it to fit the formula on the Facebook group. I love this. I love this. So she took her story, which I will. Laura's gonna be. She's my she's the head of the class. I'm gonna get Laura. You're head of the class here for Travel Marketeers. I got to give it to you because you do some amazing stuff. So for the extra credit, she already had a great pitch, but she followed the structure for the story. Now, is this her pitch? Probably not because she had a nice tight pitch before, and I haven't read it yet. But could this help her build out some about pages on her website or different ways to tell her story on social media? Yes. So, because I can tell it's much longer. So let's read it here. When busy Gen X moms dream of meaningful, stress-free vacations with their families or partners, Castaway Destinations guides them by designing custom European itineraries that are seamless, luxurious, and tailored to their unique travel style. To avoid wasting time, money, and energy on overwhelming DIY planning, we step in with expert guidance and insider knowledge, helping them conquer logistical headaches and decision fatigue. Oh, that is real. By replacing uncertainty and overwhelm with clarity and confidence, we empower our travelers to fully enjoy immersive, memory-making journeys across Europe and beyond. Wow. That's beautiful. That is if you guys have ever read, or maybe you should read, Story Brand by Donald Miller, that is really, he's the one that really brought the hero journey into the brand story. That's the whole concept behind brand story. And it is this, what you just did. You followed that structure and you gave me a story. Is it an elevator pitch? No. You already have a great elevator pitch. Oh, excuse me, guys. Whew. Being in the garage and in Atlanta and as spring is about to start. Yeah, we're in an allergy moment right now. So sorry. You have created what StoryBrand calls a brand script. So this is beautiful. You have maintained your status as head of the class. This is a great example of a brand script, which is that about story. It is the about story. So if you want to take this and trim it down a little bit, you already have a great elevator pitch, but this one right here is a story that I buy into, I want to connect to. So how would you take your Pixar movie that you've just laid out for me? How would you take your Pixar movie and trim it down to the summary that makes me want to buy that ticket? There, that would be your pitch. I love, love, love this. The only feedback I would give, and you definitely followed the assignment, and I know this about your target customer, your ideal customer, but saying when busy Gen X moms dream of meaningful, and you go into the rest of it. Um, Gen X is it from a feeling, and this is definitely getting into my art mode here. From a feeling perspective, you saying Gen X is making it more technical than I want to have in either a longer story on your about page, or if we're doing this as a shorter version as your elevator pitch. So just by saying busy moms. Obviously, there are busy moms through all different generations, and I know your sweet spot is Gen X. I think for conversation purposes, if you just said moms, you're in a good place because as you expand upon the story here, um, there are some things that are not going to fit for a younger mom. It's going to be a more mature mom in this space, and let the rest of your process help them discover if they're the right fit for you. But in an elevator pitch, I think moms will be just fine here. So good job, Laura. I appreciate it. Um, so Sissy, I love you, Sissy. She said, I want to sell amazement and awesomeness. I want to sell experiences. Sissy, that is not. I'm glad you want to do all that. I believe in it. I want you to use those words, but I need more of a pitch here. I need who's your hero, and what are they going to get? What types of things are they going to experience with you that are going to give them amazement and awesomeness? So give me a little bit more. And I'm not just going to say, give me a little more color because you need to give me more of a pitch. How do I know what you do? And give me some nuggets that then helps me introduce you to someone else. Think about that party environment. I'm sure we've all met somebody who's like, I sell insurance. Well, thank you, buddy. You didn't give me anything to work with. You got to give me something that's a conversation starter, something memorable. So fuse that in there. All right, we're gonna do just a few more. So Brittany said, and I'm not gonna put this up on the screen because it's too long here. And not too long like it's bad, but too long that I know it won't fit on the screen. So Brittany said, when first-time travelers want to explore beautiful Asian destinations, I use my experience gained from 3.5 years of living, working, and traveling in Asia to support you. I specialize in personalized Asian vacation itineraries that focus on hidden gems, immersive experiences, and the individual needs of each traveler. Lots of people feel nervous when traveling to a new destination with an unfamiliar language and culture, so I offer step-by-step support, bespoke itineraries, and detailed travel guides. I empower you to feel confident, safe, and comfortable before and during your bucket list Asian vacation. Brittany, that is a great story, not your pitch, because you're not going to get through that word for word talking to somebody in the elevator. So I know where you got it from. I know what it is. So I love it. I love all the I love the story. Trim it down. You have the memorable you have some memorable components there. But I would say Asia is not the most common of destinations. So you're winning already. But something that I feel like is a miss across so many advisors uh, is getting some destinations or unique experiences from those destinations to work into that pitch. So just like it being memorable to say you lived, worked, and traveled throughout Asia, right? That is memorable. In your elevator pitch, I'm not feeling that the 3.5 years is something that you need to say. I think if you just said living, working, and traveling in Asia to support you, then or I don't you don't even need to say support you, but just with the experience I've gained, I'm the one for you, right? Um, if I want to know how long you lived there, you've just now opened the door for me to ask you, how long did you live in Asia? I want to know more, right? So think about just natural conversation style, right? If you put it out there, that's enough. Because I guarantee you most people are not going to be able to say living, working, and traveling through Asia, right? You're ticking ding, ding, ding. Okay. So that's really good. I don't know that you need 3.5 years. But if you could say a couple of those destinations in Asia that are something that you could continue to talk about for hours, right? Think about the conversation starters, right? Infuse those in there to bring Asia to life. Okay. I think that that would send this over the top in a good way. It would be like, bam, slam dunk. I'm not a sports analogy person, but I just gave you one. I feel like that's a good thing, a slam dunk. So I can tell this is your part of your marketing copy, part of your about copy. I can tell that good there, whether it's there or whether it's in your elevator pitch. I'd like to see you infuse some of those destination specifics because not only will it be memorable, but you're going to spark some curiosity. Like what did you just say there? Like maybe you pronounced something correctly, right? And I'm like, whoa, 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 what did you say? Oh, what is that? Oh, I'm sure you've seen the pictures of the temples. Da, 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 da. That's what this is, right? And I'm like, ah, that's amazing. I've talked to my wife about this, blah, 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 blah. This is cool. We need to talk. We need to talk some more, right? Think about that. Be interesting. Don't be boring, right? You're not boring in this, but give me some things that spark that curiosity, right? I love it. I love it. All right. So I've got some people. Okay, so Sissy has come back with a draft. Here's a draft. When you want to expand your horizons, you have to move beyond the TV commercials. We guide you to the experiences you seek. Avoid the same old experience of those yearly vacays. We send you off on an adventure of your dreams. Okay, Sissy, I love how you're writing. I really do. I love that you're thinking like this. You're saying, I am not a boring travel advisor. And I know this about you too, because I can see you saying this to me face to face. I can see you saying it to me. I just need some I can't talk. Specifics. I just need some specifics. Who do you help? Is it families? Are they couples? Are they empty nesters? Uh, Connect me to them and maybe infuse a couple of experiences that illustrate this type of not the same old yearly vacays. Yeah. Give me some specifics. Don't drag it out. But how do you take this, give me some specifics, and then condense it a little bit? Because you don't have to answer all the questions, but you have to land your point and you have to give me something that then when I introduce you to another advisor or a potential client, I have something that sings to me. And I know you can do it. I'm pushing you to do it. All right, let's see here. I got a lot of working on it. Some extra bits of information. Diana said hi from NYC. Good to see you. Diana, thank you for joining us. And let's see here. So a lot of TMs coming from Anne Marie. Very, very glad. And Laura said, thanks, Joshua. I love Story Brand, fantastic book. And guess what? She did the extra credit even though it wasn't assigned. So guys, I would check out. It's a short read. It's called Story Brand by Donald Miller. He has a whole world around Story Brand. And if you pick up any book on marketing, they reference him because it really was a movement in marketing a few years back that whether you realize it or not, it's impacted some of the brands that you work with, travel brands that you might sell, as well as just brands in your life. And the whole idea of moving away from bragging about who you are and beating on your chest, like, I am this, to we help this person, this type of person, we help them achieve this or be this. It really is a very cool movement, and I love the fact that it connects to the hero's journey. It's a big, nice connecting of the dots there. So, Laura, thank you for sharing that. Let's see, lots of lots of lots of good feedback, guys. This is a feedback and sharing. I love that. I love that. I love that. So I hope this conversation was helpful. It's it's hands down. We talked about in Travel Marketeer Camp, and if you missed Travel Marketeer Camp, don't forget it's on our YouTube page. You can watch both days. It was 6 hours in total of just talking about marketing, and we dug into so many things. And we did talk about story and your vision and values and things like that. We did talk about it. But I can talk about that stuff all day long. Don't get me started. We could do another 6 hours right now because I love talking about this. But there's a lot of theory and there are a lot of different components that really all the marketing and all of brand work that we're doing is to help you sell more travel, right? And build that business that you're building to thrive in your business, right? So the all the components, all the exercises that we can do help in that exploration, help you fine tune or even see something differently that you just hadn't seen before. You've been banging on about this for a year, and then all of a sudden somebody says, "Oh, so if I hear you right, you do this," and you're like, "No, I don't. How did you get that?" You know what I mean? Like that kind of work is really where the magic's at. And I'm about to start a season of a lot of industry events. So I go to a lot of industry events. I'll speak at those events, or I'm attending different things at these events. And I love it because I get to meet hundreds and hundreds of advisors and agency owners for sure. But when we have some of the real life, the IRL conversations about their brands, I'm like, I know that there's more in there. I know there's more in there. In fact, I follow you on social media. I know there's more in there. But face to face, your pitch is falling apart here. So come on, let's work it out. And most of the time, within a few moments, just back and forth, I'll keep pulling on things. I tell you what, I don't know if you want to come up to me at an event because it might get too deep too fast. I'm just saying, I really love travel marketeering. But just a little back and forth, and we seem to land on it. We seem to land on it. And a lot of it just comes down to not bringing this brand work into real life. We spend so much time in our home office or in our store. We spend so much time there behind a screen and in our brain that it doesn't necessarily get to make it into the wild. And that's where you really get to see what works and what doesn't work. So I always suggest play, play, play. Nothing's set in stone. You're not going to overturn the apple cart by testing out your story in differently in this scenario, and trying it different in another scenario. Play, 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 because bringing it to life is what is going to serve you hands down over and over again. Once it's out there, once you feel good about it, once it is something repeatable, it's transferable, people pick up on it quickly. That's when the scaling happens, and that's where your business grows, and you start to find that freedom, that creative freedom, that financial freedom that most of us are searching for. So, obviously, I felt like I just went to church on that. Maybe we should move these to Sunday. because sometimes I do go to church on things. But I do appreciate you guys who join me live. And if you're watching on demand, thank you, thank you. Please, if you haven't joined yet, please search Travel Marketeers on Facebook and find our closed Facebook group and join in, say hi, ask questions, share things that you found on the web. If you found a great book on marketing, I'm not going to be mad at you. You might inspire me. Maybe I need that on my reading list. So definitely share information there and just continue on your journey. And I am here to help you. I can be your Obi-Wan. Wow, maybe I need to work on a brand story for that. All right, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful day and continue your journey and full speed ahead. All right, see you next time. And don't forget, it's gonna be on YouTube. So it's gonna be on our YouTube channel. Search World Via Travel Network. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you get the notifications. This session, next week's session will be on there. It's an upcoming live that you can click on, and then you can watch it from your phone. You can watch it from your smart TV. You can watch it from your laptop. You can watch it from your iPad. Where else can you watch it from? I don't know. Anyway, just watch it. All right, see you next time. Bye.